Hi everybody, welcome to City and County Credit Union's Tip Tuesday. My name is Bailey and I am so glad you're tuning in. Today we're talking about a topic that has impacted many businesses and people in our community. We're talking about the Great Reshuffle. Now if you don't know what this is, it addresses the theme where people are leaving their current organization to go work with a different company that best fits their values, fits their personal life, and most importantly, values them as their most important asset. And so that's why today I'm really excited to talk with Teresa Thomas from Women in Networking on how you can utilize networking to make a smart career move. And we all know making that career jump has an impact on our finances, so it's important you're taking the best steps forward. So come with me, we're going to talk to Teresa and get all of your questions answered. Teresa, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very excited to be talking to our members about networking and what life is, what they're looking for that career move. And I know right now it's a hot topic. So I would love for you just to introduce yourself and Women in Networking.
Sure. Well, I'm Teresa Thomas and I'm with Women in Networking, otherwise known as WIN. And everything I do is about connecting people to great people to come together and lift each other up for success, which is what WIN is all about. So WIN is 20 years old this year.
That's incredible.
So yeah, we've been around for a while.
Well, congratulations. That's a feat in itself. And for me, we were just talking previously that networking can be this big, scary word. And right now I really learned that everything is about connections. Who do you know? Can you get a referral? So can you break down what is networking and how do you get over that barrier of, oh my gosh, I don't want to do networking?
So what you brought up is very, very common fear that people have about networking is it feels weird, it feels slimy, it feels like, oh, I have to sell myself or sell something. But what I encourage people to do is look at networking as about relationship building, as about connecting and having conversations. Because really all that networking is about is having those relationships that move you forward toward a goal. So typically it's a professional goal, it could be an educational goal, it could be any goal that you have in which you're utilizing your connections to see how you could get closer to accomplishing that goal. So if you take out the, oh, I'm selling myself, and you approach it as how can we help each other? I like to call it, how can we have a win-win connection, right? So approaching a connection as a relationship, how can we help each other out? Having that big picture approach to networking versus transactional. And sometimes it's not clear how you can help the other person out immediately, especially if you're a student or you're in job transition. However, you can bring your best self. You can be respectful and uplifting for the person that you're meeting. So just have that approach. And when you have that approach of helping each other, it helps your confidence as well.
I think that's so spot on. And one thing I've learned too is, when you take that selling approach out of it, you kind of just relax and you talk about real life things. Like it doesn't always have to be like, here's what I need, A plus B equals my goal. It's more of like, let's have a conversation. And so with that said, I would love your tips for people who are going into networking, whether it's an event or it's just casual out in their day-to-day. What are some tips that you always keep top of mind when you're going out to network? And this is somebody who's a professional, already established, and looking for that next step.
Yeah, well, first of all, what you shared about having that approach of, okay, not sell. If you take out the selling part of yourself or a business or a product and look at how is this a fit, right? If you look for, is this a fit? Maybe they're not your ideal client or your ideal place to work. And so if you're having a conversation, approach it with curiosity and see if it's a fit. That will also help your confidence. It'll make for a better connection because the other person will pick up on the fact that you're not trying to push them to do something, but that you're looking for the right fit. The other thing that I always suggest to anybody in their networking is to know why you're networking. A lot of people approach networking as, oh, I know I'm supposed to do this, but they don't really know why. So I suggest just taking some time to just think about what is it that you most want at this stage of your career, your education, whatever you're moving toward. And when you know that, that will help you with your introduction. It will help you know what types of people you want to be connecting with to move you forward on your goal, what types of networking opportunities you say yes to or no to. So having that clarity, knowing your why for networking makes a huge difference.
And I have a question off of that, because networking sometimes I think is really sold that it only happens during this certain set of time, right? Networking is happening at this event. Do you think that networking happens all the time, or is it more so like when you're going to this event, this is what you have in mind?
Yes, networking is not always called networking. Super good point. And I would say you could be networking all the time and not have it be called networking. And you have people all around you. So I hesitate to say all the time, because we're humans. We're not always on thinking about our goals. Sometimes we just want to relax and have a connection and a conversation. But there is the opportunity, the possibility to network all the time. So it could be, that you're at the grocery store and you've been interested in merchandising, and you ask somebody like, hey, who does your merchandising? Can I talk with them? But most likely you're just going to go to the grocery store and do your thing. So, but knowing those goals helps you know when you want to network and who you want to network with.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about people who are, trying to get into a new career and, they're already established, but we help a lot of young members who are ready to start in the career field right after college, or maybe they're a senior in college. So what are your networking tips for that group of students?
Well, for students, what I recommend highly is that you start doing informational interviews to start moving toward your career field. So within your existing connections, you can start asking, who should I be talking with to learn more and making connections in the field that I'm interested in? And then my biggest tip that I have for when you do informational interviews is to ask them who else you should talk with in that field, because it's going to move you closer and closer to the types of the people that are the right connections for you. So it's about information gathering, but it also provides those connections that can move you forward, and sometimes those connections result in a hire. So it's really worth pursuing. The other two things that I would suggest for students are, it's a great idea to start a LinkedIn profile if you haven't already, because most places that are hiring use LinkedIn to at least some extent for checking out their candidates. So it's okay that you're early on in your profession to just have the basics and build from there, but do have something and start pulling in recommendations where you can. And then the third tip that I have is, you're new to the professional world. You have a lot of your peers are your friends. So think about how you can build that professional network by connecting with past maybe internship supervisors, or supervisors from jobs that you've worked, even your favorite professors, your advisor, guest lecturers that you've had on campus. Form those connections, reach out, tell them what you appreciated about studying with them or what you've learned from them, and then ask them to be part of your professional network, and LinkedIn is a great place to do that.
And I love this tip so much, because actually the person who films these videos, who is standing right behind the camera right now, she was hired through an informational interview. She reached out to me directly on LinkedIn, wanted to set up a chat. I didn't have an opening at that time, but when I did, Lucy was the first person to come to mind. And if you know Lucy, you know that she's a shining star here at City and County, so it really does work. So great advice, great advice. And so now, what if I want to learn more? I'm trying to tip you in here to show your book, because I think networking is an always learning, always growing thing. So I'd love for you to show your book, where we can find more, or where we can purchase it, and what's inside.
Sure. Well, this is my book. It's Win-Win Networking, and it's designed to be very, very interactive. It's filled with tips, techniques, templates, even a place to keep track of what's working for you and what's not in your networking. It's designed to help you get those tips to move you forward, but also to explore what's working for you, what you want to do more of. And it is available online on Amazon. So check it out and dig in and use it to move forward in your networking.
And we'll link it too in the video description, so you have a quick link to go purchase the book. But as we wrap up here, of course, I just want to say thank you for joining us and sharing your tips. But what if people want to work with you more and get connected to women in networking?
Sure. So if you want to be involved in women in networking, we have a robust online community, and we also have online networking events. We've adapted over the past 20 years and have more of an online presence than in person at the time. And you will be able to find the Women in Networking, you'll find that at winwinconnects.com, and you'll look for the little Women in Networking icon and click that, and you'll be part of the community right there.
And I highly recommend getting connected with Teresa. Her tips don't just stop at this video, so please get connected with her. And if you're looking for a career yourself, we are hiring here at City and County. So if you are interested, head on over to cccu.com/careers. And we'd love to have you here working with us, empowering our mission to move forward, empowering you to do more. And we will see everybody next month. Thanks, guys.